should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June 1862 on a summer's afternoon. We took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. We are live with an instant match reaction, the show where all Newcastle United fans have their say. You can join us. You don't need a mic. Well, you need a mic, actually, because we got to hear you. But you don't need a camera. Rather said, you can just join it like that and have your opinion, have your say about tonight's performance against Liverpool in every match that we have. But I'll give you my opinion first. And by the way, the link is pinned in the chat. The link is also in the WhatsApp group. So you can come on and have your say, and wait. You'll have to wait a few minutes until we bring you in, until we finish with our spiel. But hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, become a member if you can. That helps us a lot to keep growing. You can super chat, give your donation if you want, if you want to support the channel, as well as highlight your comment if you don't feel like coming in. You can still super chat. You can still gift memberships away to other people if you're already a member, and if you're not, like I said, become a member and help support the channel. Newcastle United drawn with Andy Bell. If you can't hear me, no worries, because when I bring you on, you'll have your say. And Andy Bell can't hear us. It's unbelievable. But just hold on, man. Hold on. I'll bring you in. You'll have your say. But I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. But hold on. I can hear you. My take on the game. It's look, I'm not somebody that gets excited over a draw, thinking that Newcastle are a big club myself, and thinking that we can accomplish much more. However, Liverpool is the best team in England, and you have to respect that. They came here. Everybody thought that we were going to lose, and they were going to batter us. And the fact that we scored and got twice up on the score, and well, based on our mistakes, they drew the game in those instances. You can say that we didn't perform well in those specific instances, but at the end of the day, we still performed good on the offensive end. We scored a couple of screamers. To be fair, that first goal by Isak has to be one of the best goals, if not of the month, of the season. And so you've got to give it there. I think the lads came on and performed well offensively. Murphy had a few. He was the surprise of this lineup. He was the change. He was the only change. And as much as he was getting heat in the chat, and he was getting people not liking what he was doing, offensively, he brought something that we haven't been seeing. With that being said, he had defensive deficiencies that cost us a goal today. Dan Burn, to me, had a poor game as well defensively, and we went on top twice. We cannot give up the score, give up the game on, like we did as far as those mistakes is concerned. Everybody needs to. They have a job. Primarily, they have a job to do, and specifically for Burn, he needs to defend, and he wasn't on scene on those goals. And I have to say that. Now, when it comes to the offensive end of things, I mean, I thought everybody played good. I think Tonali was amazing once again. I didn't agree with the changes. I will give Eddie Howe points on doing what would make sense, which is not make a substitution when there was no substitution needed. So I thought he did great as far as that's concerned. He waited until later in the game. But when he waited and made those substitutions, I didn't agree with any substitution. You can say Willock for Joe Linton, who was quiet. I could agree with that. But I just don't understand what Longstaff can do when you're down in a game. And he didn't do anything. So that game was wasted. And to take Tonali off, I think that's another mistake. And once again, something that we need to take a look at when we analyze the game. Alexander Isak, amazing. Gordon, very quiet until he scored. But he's there to do that. And he got it done, although it wasn't enough because our defense didn't come up and play as our attack did today. And that's something, like I said, to bring up. We're going to get into the players and what they did, of course. Hopefully, the Mighty Win will be joining us at some point coming from the stadium. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. We're definitely going to bring up those comments. And let me bring in Gary. Gary, how's it going, mate? And what do you think about tonight's performance? Certainly much better.
How can I put this? I'm over the moon. I am actually over the moon. I couldn't see where we were getting goals at all. I'd looked back at several performances this season, and as much as I'd like to I'll put my hand up. I didn't expect that tonight at all. And the frustrating thing for me, it's got nothing to do with the changes, if I'm honest. It's a case of why can't we produce it week in, week out? It just shows, up against the elements, if you like. We're up against the top of the league. And until we run out of steam, we did look like a team on top. They changed their setup a little bit, and that's what screwed us over because it allowed them to start to dominate our box. They were getting and overcommitting lots of bodies into our area, which was nullifying our fullbacks because we had to become very narrow. And then obviously all your midfielders then become also very narrow in and around the box. And I suppose you can put it down as a little bit of class because Salah was just that. I mean, as daft it looks, he could have had a hat trick. He had one off the bar. It was just the finishing. All of the half chances, it's just spinning on the ball and taking a shot. It's something that we'd been missing all season. And again, you come to the small opportunities towards the end where you've got balls in and around the 6-yard box, and we were you're just committing bodies a little bit late. Tonali ran a little bit late on the one, and he could have quite easily get on there. And it's not. It's to me, it's not. We've not spoilt the game at all. It's been an enjoyable match to actually commentate on. It's been an enjoyable match to actually watch. You're involved in the game, even in the 95th minute. I've seen in the chat that I thought it was 96 on your screen, but it wasn't. It was 95. So I'll stand corrected and I'll let the referee off on that one. But again, you were saying about the substitutes. Were they needed? We'd lost the legs. You could see that from the 80th minute onwards, the legs had just gone, and it was just a case of then keeping them out. And once they'd gone in front, we would never have. I don't think we could ever come back with the same 11 that was on the park. And it was, it was a drive from the likes of Harvey Barnes, fresh legs. And at that time, you were just saying, I haven't seen Harvey Barnes involved in anything. And it's just that little run where he gets the free kick, and you start thinking to yourself, what we're going to do. And then the ball from Bruno looked nowhere near. Even Kelleher left it. But again, it just shows that mindset of Fabian Schär not to give anything up. And, that's luck as well. And the way our luck's been this season, I half expected that just to run across the goal line, right along the face of goal, and out for a goal kick the other end. But luck was on our side tonight. Lady Luck was with us. The ball did actually come off the back post and into the back of the net for a well-deserved point. And I suppose you have to go back and you have to say, could we have won that game? Well, yeah, we could. We've had a couple more chances than they have to actually kill this game off. We had the disallowed goal from Isak. That was offside. We've had the one-on-one with Gordon that obviously he could have done better with. But for me, overall effort, overall gameplay, absolutely superb today. I can't fault the lads. Everyone, the standouts all over the park for me. Isak for his his movement, his run. Tonali in the middle. Bruno even got involved today. J7. Their middle three for me was the winning formula. There was bodies moving forward, breaking lines. You got two wide men that were out wide, but became very narrow again. Like I was saying, what you do then, and that's what you get with Murphy. I know it's crazy this when I say this. In the past, we've been a little bit guilty, especially when we play J7 outside. J7 hugs the touchline. And as much as he becomes a target, then what you don't get is any runners narrow. What you saw from Murphy today was the fact that he was playing more of an inside right position. So everything then becomes narrow. And if like Robertson overcommits himself, there was a couple of times where, Murphy was in and behind. Again, Lady Luck, he could have put that ball into the net when he lobbed Kelleher, but again, you're talking technical ability, and he just didn't quite have it. But I'm not going to take anything away from any of the 11 that started, or any of the lads that come on. They all contributed to a fabulous game of football on a Wednesday night in a rainy northeast, and it's what we needed. I'm hoping now, we can go to Brentford and put a performance on, because we know Brentford are very good at home.
We're certainly going to need it, because then we have these performances where we play decent, and then
Drop
against
off.
teams like Brentford, we're hop off. Let's go with some super chats. Thank you for everybody donating. Please continue to do that if you can. Random Access says the players won this one. Shout out to Random Access. And you have a point. I mean, the players did come out with a different attitude and a different, method of doing things. They start shooting, all of them. And most of them were close. Shoot. Because sometimes it's not going to work. Be unpredictable. And I think that Fabian Scher was getting predictable with those passes to nobody, losing the ball. And then, so a few things, like I said, things worked out, some things didn't. And we're here when we do the analysis, we had to point all of that out. AG, I think he went to the game, says, get the feck in. Great game. Highway the lads, says AG. Shout out to AG. Next one is Michael McIntyre. Michael McIntyre, thank you for the super chat. He says, well, how about that? Tune, says Michael McIntyre. Appreciate that, mate. And it's like I said, it's a good performance to come back against the best team in the league. It's well taken. But I do understand the people that say that are not trustworthy, that not trusty of this, because we've seen this way too many times. And it's about what we can do in the future, because it looks like playing against big teams is not the issue. It's playing against the weak. Why can't we keep doing this? That's the thing. You know what I mean? We had it. And by the way, we beat Liverpool. Didn't make mistakes defensively, so that should be even. That should make our goals. Well, actually, on the last one, maybe Kelleher did make a mistake.
Yeah,
right there, but that gives us what? How can I say? We play better, I guess you can say, because we went out there and we did what we wanted to do, and we accomplished it. Actually, Liverpool scored on all of our mistakes, and that is the problem right there. Let me bring in Steve Rock the Tune. Steve, how's it going, mate? All good?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Yeah, we got Brent as well in the building. Steve, what do you think about the game, mate?
Oh, it was an unbelievable game. I predicted Liverpool would score 3 goals, but for us to score 3 goals as well was nowhere near what I thought we were going to get out of the game. Because even though we played well against the bigger teams this season, Liverpool been playing, I didn't expect us to score 3 goals against them, not once. May have thought we might get 1 if we were lucky. Like I said, I predicted a 3-0 win to Liverpool, and I got it half right.
Yeah.
So, but I think Liverpool at times could have punished us. We could have punished them. I think it was, in a way, even though we played well, I think it was sort of an even game. I think both had our chances, and both teams made mistakes. So I think if it comes down to it, great if we'd got a goal at the end. I think a 3-3 draw was a fair result.
Yep. All right, Brent. You were watching the game with us. We can tell by being in the chat. And what did you think, man? You brought up some good comments there.
Yeah,
What did you think about tonight's performance?
I thought Gordon put in a shift. Like I was saying in the chat, I thought his confidence has been running low, but he also hasn't really been putting in the same work that he normally puts in. But today, I mean tonight, he put in the work. He got a goal, and hopefully that's gonna improve his confidence moving forward, because that's big for us. We need a confident Gordon, and of course he's on the left again, which I think moving forward he just has. I mean, I think one thing, one of the biggest things that this game showed is we gotta get a right winger in January. If we don't get a right winger in January, then forget this season. Murphy had a good first half, but the second half he just fell off. Poor turnovers, kind of turned back into the Murphy we knew. Tonali I thought was excellent. Isaac was excellent. For me, Shar had kind of a throwback game. He made some tackles, some key tackles for us, and scored there at the end to get us that last second tie. Thought Byrne was poor. Not sure what was going on with him tonight. He was all over the pitch again. We had some issues where they were moving forward and Byrne was nowhere to be found in the back. Don't know what he does in those moments, but Hall. I actually thought Hall had a decent game. Was unlucky a few times, but I think Salah just proves he's the best player in the world right now. Because without Salah, we win 3-1 tonight. He was their offense. He's just so good. It's actually incredible to see. And I also thought, Barnes coming on late. Of course, he was on the right. It's not really where he plays well, but I think that he seemed a little overwhelmed with the matchup, which kind of showed me, because I was always kind of against the whole, oh, he's not a super sub, let's start him. But I think this game kind of showed me a little bit that maybe, something like a Liverpool is a little bit above him, and his best, he's best coming off the bench on the left. So that was kind of what I saw, just coming off the heels of it. Fun game, but hey, we don't play Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea every week. We got to find a way to beat West Ham, Ipswich, and everybody else.
Which is a crazy.
I know, it's the weirdest conundrum to have.
thing.
We can
And by the
play,
way-
we can get up for these big teams, but I don't know what we think when we go against these
And by the
smaller
way,
sides.
it's not a this season thing. That was last season as well.
No, true, yeah.
So it's weird what's going on, but I mean, the subs, because people are asking. Let me see. Let me go to the start those comments so I can give those the proper. I think it was Tony asking if the subs were. Somebody asked whether we should have subs should have came on earlier. Another person said the opposite. I think the great thing today was not to make subs so early, and I don't agree with the subs whatsoever. Anyway, but I thought there was no changes to, and the proof is in the pudding, because we scored with the same players we had, and we were able to get up. So I don't know what you think. If you guys expected subs earlier in the game, or actually we got Tiger in the building as well. Tiger, how you doing, mate?
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up,
How's it
Tiger?
go?
Tiger?
First time me and you were meeting, at least on the because
No,
I was going
I've been with you before.
with me on the stream.
Yeah, after the West Ham game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. But what do you think about the game, man? You're definitely an Eddie Howe out. Has he convinced you today to think different?
Nah, I'm still Eddie Howe. I'm not gonna lie, it was a great game to watch. I would say the positives from this game is that we scored 3 goals and we didn't lose the game. The first half, probably the best half I've seen we've played this season. You can't fault anyone in that first half. Tonali, I said after the Palace game, he's on another level. The way he was just tackling everyone in that midfield. Isak, I told you about Isak. We can't sell this guy. Today showed you why he's a £150 million player. Like, he scored a goal. His second goal was ruled offside. He was creating chances. He was doing everything. But then when you go to the second half, it just shows the shit that we've been seeing all season. Like, Liverpool come out and we're just back to normal.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just
like
gonna. Yeah. No, I get your point. I'm just gonna remind because Mighty Win is on the stream. I don't know if you can see him, but
yeah.
I'm just gonna tell him because he's celebrating. We drawn the game, by the way. We didn't win, Mighty Win. But
I'll get the win as well. I've
yeah.
got something to say for win as
We
well.
only got 1 point, man. Just so what
Yeah.
do you think, Win?
No, let Tiger make his point to me.
Okay, go on, Tiger.
So against the West Ham, when we lost against West Ham, you said it's one loss. What's with the overreaction? Now I'm seeing after this game, even though we didn't even win, we got one draw. There's an overreaction saying that, oh, Howe's back, this, blah blah blah. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Hey, he got a point though,
Well,
Win.
it was overreaction after 5 good performances.
So you what you're gonna teach Mighty Win?
Shit against Palace. We should have won that game by 2 or 3 today, comfortably.
We should have won the game by 2 or 3.
Comfortably.
And how many should they have if you count those opportunities?
They could have had 3, maybe 4.
Oh, so what are you talking about, man?
Well, what I'm saying is they didn't have three one-on-ones like we had.
Come on, man. What Liverpool showed today, and I want because I do want to give Newcastle praise offensively. We were great, and if we continue to do this, we're gonna. Well, I think we did great offensively. The problem is, Mighty Wayne, I think you live in La La Land where people score.
I've just been sitting in the car listening to you say Dan Burn had a bad game.
Dan Burn had a horrible game. Horrible game, Dan Burn. Horrible game. So did Barnes, by the way, non-existent. Who else had a game? Longstaff makes no sense anyway. There's a few. Defensively, we had a horrible game. Murphy allowed that goal, and that cost the game for a certain amount of time. So we got to say what happened, man. We can't just.
I'm telling you what happened.
You live on La La Land where you think that players are going to score 100% of the chances. That never happens. Ronaldinho didn't do that. Ronaldo Fenomeno didn't do that. The greatest Maradona didn't score 100% of his chances. That doesn't happen ever. They're human beings. So you want. By the way, in today's game, according to SofaScore, I disagree with this. By the way, well, based on what I watched in the game, I don't know what they classify as big chances, but they say we had 2, 4. Liverpool had 4. I think we had more than 2. And from what I think we have 4, 4, 5, 5 big chances each, and we were pretty level. So if they scored 100% of their chances, they're gonna. I mean, it's an obvious thing. I think the draw was what was earned for both teams. But one thing that you can assume from Newcastle's end, we worked hard and earned every goal. Liverpool didn't earn a goal. They just literally said, "I'm gonna turn around, bang, shoot." They scored easily. Our defense weren't up to par with what it needed to get this game to win this game. If our defense played like our offense, we would have won this game.
You can argue that Mo Salah is the best player in the world. I'm not going to argue with that right at this moment in time. He is the best player in the world. But without Mo Salah, they were dead. And Lewis Hall had a great game as far as I'm concerned. But the best player in the world, done him 3 times, and twice it cost with goals. Not down to Dan Burn or anybody else, down to Mo Salah's brilliance. Nothing else.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I think Curtis Jones' goal in the 50th minute, Burn was marking open grass. If he would have came forward and made it difficult on Jones, then it wouldn't have been a wide open. I'm not saying he would have blocked it or even stopped. He still might have scored, but Burn was in no man's land. Tonali was trailing. He was trying to catch Jones, but he was wide open, and Burn was in front of him.
Tonali was man of the match by a million miles. Tonali was outstanding.
Oh, there you go. Now you put your glasses on, the proper ones. Thank you, Jordy Dan, for the kind super chat. Says Liverpool were lucky. Should have been a penalty. A referee blew his whistle as we were on the attack. Funny when Liverpool got the score in the 90th minute and +5 of extra time. I will say the referee was shocking. Didn't give us a penalty. That was a
clear penalty. That was a clear penalty.
Well, I managed to get down to watch the replay of that, and it was a foul all day, no doubt about it. So if it was inside the box,
it was outside the box.
I thought it was outside.
It was outside the box.
Replay, but it should definitely be a free kick outside the box.
Well, it was a penalty. It was a penalty. Thank you, Michael McIntyre, for another super chat, man.
You're talking about the Isaac?
One
You're talking about the Isaac
2-2.
one, right?
Yeah, that should have been a
Yeah,
penalty.
It was free kick outside the box.
That was in the penalty box, I thought.
It was in the penalty box, just.
Yeah, that
There
was
was
way
no
in the
penalty,
penalty
there was
box.
no
The
penalty.
the first contact was outside, I think.
It wasn't a penalty.
No, it was a penalty, man. Yes, it was, man.
The other one you thought wasn't a penalty.
Yeah. We got. Oh, Dom took off. Dom from Malaysia. He'll be back though.
Chris, can I just say something, right?
Of course.
You got a guy in the chat, Ronald Turnbull. He's been saying a
what
few
is it?
things. He's saying Chris and Tiger are brain dead. If you got something to say, come on the stream and tell us why we're brain dead.
Well,
You know?
look,
Yeah.
Rano's a long time watcher of the two, and we can agree to disagree. It's fine. I don't know why I'm brain dead, just because I don't think like you, Rano. But
Yeah,
regardless, I think it was a great match offensively for us. In attack, we did everything spectacular. Hopefully, we can get Mighty Win to actually start praising Isak every once in a while when he had a magnificent game today. Magnificent game. Even the offside goal, he scores the offside goals unbelievably. Like it's crazy how the quality of this guy. Anthony Gordon had a poor game until he scored, and you know
Anthony Gordon did that. He missed a chance he should have scored.
Yeah, he had a poor game until then.
he should have scored that though. The 1-on-1 in the first half.
Yeah.
How about that
he
move
should have
from
scored the
Tonali?
one-on-one.
How about that
Murphy
move
should have
from
scored
Tonali early on? I think it was our first shot on
Yeah.
target. That was beautiful. Man, I wish that would have gone in.
Yeah, that was a fabulous move from start
So
to finish.
we did have good opportunities. What do you guys think about Alessandro Minetti? No, I'm sorry, Alessandro Minetti. Alessandro, you didn't play, but he says needed 3 points tonight, but can't hate on the draw. Eddie lives on. Well, that's a fact right there. That is a fact. That's a fact. The 3 points were obviously a great result. We could have gotten it, but defensively we weren't at the
Yeah, we
mark.
can't forget that Murphy shot that just wasn't even close.
That's my question, because now there's divided opinions when it comes to Murphy. And in the beginning, I said I wouldn't put Murphy. Well, actually, I did say that he put the best lineup, and then I remember Harvey Barnes, and I said, well, Harvey Barnes should have probably started on the right side. And then I recognized my mistake, and I thought that Eddie Howe was spot on with the lineup. Now you can argue Almiron needs a chance, but then you look at Murphy's offensive game, and he certainly did decent. Defensively, he is poor, man. So my question to you guys is, how do you feel about Murphy? Is he turning the clock? Or what's going on with him? To be honest, we have no options on that right side, do we?
Well, I think you look at a number of things. I mean, we both said he's running back at in the first half. They were in and behind, and he got in front of Nunes and allowed the ball to drop off. And he's covering sense. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, am I a defensive player? Am I a defensive player? And the way Eddie plays and the way he likes the lads to set up, you have to be both. Now, like I said, you can be a jack of all trades, but if you can't master those trades, then you're always going to be an also-ran. And the biggest problem I find with Murphy is, yes, he's one of these players that will never shine a massive light. And he will, bless him. I've seen players, and we can name a number of players that don't get involved in games like this. They'll just sit and hide. He gets involved, even though he's not doing anything great. And I'm just going to go back, and I'm not going to defend the lad because, like I say, it was a couple of sloppy passes. But nobody speaks about the J7 interception that led to Salah's goal to get them the 3-2 lead. It wasn't Murphy's pass, even though the original one was. We win the ball back, and then J7 tries to cleverly play an outside of his foot shots pass out to Anthony Gordon, and then that gets intercepting. Hold on.
Had that gone in, had that pass went through, bang, he's on goal.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to take the percentages, haven't you?
Yeah.
We then go and concede a third goal, and everybody's like, doom and gloom again. And you just think, we always go back to the faults. And like you quite correctly says, if these passes go through, you're through on goal. So it's all about the percentages. And sometimes you just have to wear your balls around your neck and say, if I don't commit to this, then I may as well not play. Sometimes it goes for you and your name's up in lights. Sometimes, as unfortunately with Murphy, a lot of the time, same as Longstaff, the same as Miggy has. Sometimes it just doesn't fall your way and it can go against you at the drop of a hat. But there was a lot of players in that game today, won the ball back really well. There was a lot of players that gave the ball away really sloppy. It's not just individuals that win and lose you the game. It has to be a collective. And today, what I saw was a collective. Regardless of the individual mistakes, it was a collective wanting to go out there and do something for the rest of the team. Win the ball back early, progress the ball up quickly. Yes, it wasn't always spectacular, but when we got in and behind them, and again, I'll go back to the Christmas tree, when we became narrow at the top where we were forcing the issue, we were getting in and behind them all of the time. Rather than sitting out on the wings, we didn't get behind them at all once, I don't think. When we started to run inside, there was a number of opportunities for us to get inside the box. Eddie obviously listened to me the other night because he changed.
But the thing is, Gary, like, it's all well good doing that, but we all know when it comes against like
one second, Tiger. 1 second, Tiger. Let me thank antagonizing Jordan for his super chat. Thank you, mate. Challenge was in the box. Clear penalty.
I thought so. Yeah,
contact.
it was way in the box.
So go on, Tiger. Sorry.
I don't know. I can just see on the monitor.
So when we come against Brentford, I guarantee we're going to go back to the way we're playing.
Yeah.
And I don't get why. And this is the frustrating part. Why are we like this? I don't get it.
Eddie's tactic is to play a match per manager. Yeah, he sets his team out against their coach, and it's about what they do. And I think so. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a mistake because what he thinks is by playing the two wide men, Anthony Gordon, J7, whoever plays up top, out wide, you isolate Isaac in the middle, or Wilson, whoever plays there, or even Gordon plays in there. You are isolating the play. You're not getting any bodies. And what you get then is a flat figure. And that's why he decided, instead of playing these two wide men and keeping them wide and isolating Isaac, when Willock became fit, Willock was the one who will go and play in and alongside, more or less a free role, if you like, on that inside left position. That's great. But when you've still got width outside with no runners coming in behind them, then you're struggling. And that's what I said today when the lads, Murphy started to play on the inside right, Gordon started to play a little bit less of a winger and more inside. It frees up your two fullbacks to get forward. Didn't happen so much on the right-hand side with Tino because he had a specific job to do. So he was isolated to a degree sometimes. But some of the balls that we played to our top line today were great balls, and it just allowed us to create challenge. And again, you talk about keeping a close-knit proximity to the opposition. Every time they had the ball narrow, there was a player within 5 yards of that ball because we played narrow. And I think that is the thing that, Eddie's got to look back at now and progress with this, go forward.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Brenda Max has gifted a membership, and it's going to Nathan888. Nathan, was that you asking for a membership earlier on? Or am I mistaken?
If it is, there you go.
Well,
You've got
it. If it is, well, there you go. You're lucky. Or maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, no, maybe it was you.
I don't think it was Nathan, no.
And what would you know, man? You were getting drunk in the stadium, acting like you were watching the game.
No, I was watching you in Aspers.
There you go. And Helsuzar also gifted a membership, and that is gone to Johnny NUFC. There we go, Johnny. Congrats, and thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
To the one and only Helsuzar. And another super chat coming behind after that one, and that is Michael McIntyre. Once again says, let's have a beer, tune.
Let's have a beer. Exactly.
Well, listen, I think the
you owe me one, Sean. You owe me one.
I think the offense today was admirable. If we can continue that, I think that this has to be close to the lineup that we can probably, say this is the best lineup. I mean, you can argue.
Has anybody mentioned the elephant in the room yet?
What? They're talking about me or what?
No.
Who are you talking about?
Despite your size. Yeah. I'm talking about the fact that what he got right today was playing Tonali, DM, which allowed Bruno to go forward.
Yeah, Bruno had 2 assists.
The 2 best occasions that Bruno got forward, he fluffed his lines. One of them should have been a goal all day, and the other one, he just...
Bruno made some nice passes. He did get 2 assists as well. So
I thought in the second half Bruno went quiet, to be honest.
No, I'm on about the fact that we've been advocating Tonali to play DM to allow Bruno to get in the box, and we've been ruining the fact that we're not getting our midfielders up into the box. What happened today was we did that all perfectly, and we got Bruno into the box with, shooting goal-scoring opportunities, and he fluffed his lines.
I think what you saw, Win, and me and Chris was commentating on it, and we were seeing it regular. There was communication between the three. What you had is sometimes Tonali.
Team.
Yeah, but what you had, but I'm all about the three in the middle. What you had today was Tonali sometimes was the furthest forward midfield, and J7 would sit in, and Bruno and Tonali would go. Then J7 and Bruno would go, and Tonali would sit. To me, it was the perfect functioning midfield that you could ever get for communication, for supporting the front and the defence. I think at times we left ourselves a little bit open. We looked a little bit muddled in defence, especially when they started the overload playing 4-2-4. And then obviously with Trent coming on, and again, it's all these little things, these little changes that Liverpool played that confused us a little bit, and it gave them probably 10 minutes of the game. And I've just got a couple of figures up here, and this to me is the best figure I can ever say. When we've got expected XG more than Liverpool, who are top of the league and running away with a lot of them today, that speaks volumes for me.
Well, that's what I couldn't understand, because Chris was saying he's seen some stats where Liverpool had 4 big chances and we only had 2. That's bollocks.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like offsides are not going to count as big chances, but clearly it's just literally
but one-on-ones,
yeah, we had 2 big chances to their 4. Because don't forget, they hit the post twice.
So
they hit the bar.
Yeah. And so like a shot from I don't know if a shot from deep that's not really that hits the post will count as a big chance. But regardless, it is, in my opinion. That's why I disagree with that. Thank you, Beer Viking, for the £5. He says, what do y'all think about Arne Slot going to see the ref at halftime in his office? Please, Murphy Costas. I don't know anything about that, but what if he did?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he was smart. He wasn't happy on the sideline. He was going to the referee
because he was
the 4th
getting
official.
Beat.
I said, goodness me. I said, look at Slot. He's not happy.
Well, he wasn't happy.
He was for a penalty at one point, wasn't he? He was outside the box.
Yeah.
Well, they had one penalty shout. Again, obviously we didn't get I haven't seen a replay of that.
I mean,
think that was the elbow of Dan Burn. That was not a penalty.
The only offensive thing that they beat us with is possession. They had more possession of the ball with us. But I mean, goal attempts, we had 17. Shots on goal was 6 to us, 5 to them. And we've both scored 3 goals. So that's what I said. It's about having a go. And for the last few weeks, we just haven't been having a go. We were shooting from 30 yards today, for God's sake. That's something that we've never seen for a while.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think we have a lot more positives than negatives on this one, obviously. But the consistency is going to be an issue, But
this is the key. What happens next week?
Because to be fair, hold on though. Because to me, because I got to get back. Sometimes even in the win, you see, I got to bring myself back to earth as well. Because I get the mighty win high of not really thinking for myself and letting just the scoreboards think. And I got to come back down to earth. That last goal, I mean, we got lucky on that one. Because it was going to be, the title of this stream was going to be typical Newcastle once again. Because we were up twice, and we let it go because of poor decisions defensively. And in that last goal, and I said, Bruno, because I thought it was a bit child's play, is the way Bruno and Hull were looking back at Daddy to say who was getting the toy. And then Bruno gets the free kick. That free kick wasn't executed properly. It was too strong, too far. And then Fabian Schär just gets down there. Kelleher, he made that mistake. He didn't get to it in time. So we did get lucky, lads. To be fair, at the end.
Definitely. Because if you look at our season so far, when we scored first, we haven't lost Up until the Crystal Palace game, we hadn't dropped any points at all from a winning start. We've dropped 4 in 2 games. Liverpool, I think, are the only team that hasn't lost a point from a winning start this season now.
Yeah. Well, I thought, can we bury the Bruno and Bruno can't play together? Because I never believed in that. Because I think that once they get used to each other, they're going to figure it out. They don't want to run into each other. They're not robots. They're not something they're programmed to do, and all of a sudden there's no fix. They're going to realize, all right, I got to go this way. You got to go that way. We go up and down, whatever. They're going to realize the way to play with each other. And I thought tonight it's proven that we can. Don't know what the score.
What was the consensus on Livermendo tonight?
I think he did well.
I think it did. I think yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, he was tasked with a job the same as Hall is. And I mean, Salah wasn't in the game in the first half, and it was only when they obviously changed their formation where they virtually went man for man at the end. They was overloading the play so much. Because we haven't got a dedicated DM, couldn't handle that, and that's what I said. It became a little bit muddled for 10 minutes until we tried to change our shape, and then obviously the legs just go, and you could see that they'd put so much effort in for 80 minutes. After that, it was a non-entity. You know, they were all literally, well, a lot of them, I should say, not all, but a lot of them were blowing out the backsides at that point. And I think that is where we need to start having a look at now. And it's a case of, yes, we haven't got a dedicated defensive midfielder. Or, you know, for me, when you're under the cosh like that, is it not worth something like Eddie Howe saying, just to try and nullify it now, do I not just put another defender on and try and close the game out? Or was Eddie right to try and go out there and finish the game off? And that's the question. That is the only question for me.
We were 3-2 down at the time, though, when he brought the 3 subs on.
I'm saying before that. That's what I said. For me, you could see us stepping back. And it was a case of, do we now close and accept what we've got? They're going to commit bodies forward. We've still got bodies on the park that can get behind them, but I'll have to go 2 in the middle of the park and keep my 3 players forward.
Yeah, I think he should have,
Well, listen, I have to be honest with myself, and I don't. I'm a proactive. I like proper football, not shit. So I think we're a big club, and we need to find it. You don't have to be stupid either. We're moving the Postecoglou high line or anything like that. We can be smart about it. If you're drawn, why not go? You're at home anyway. Now you can argue, playing against Liverpool, etc. So that's it. It's up for grabs, really. It's likes what you like or what you don't like.
We should have missed. We should have scored another 2 goals. I mean, that is where the XG is. I mean, Anthony Gordon played it straight at Kelleher, and obviously Murphy lobbed the keeper and put it wide. I mean, there was 2 really good chances there that we actually, we fluffed. Yeah. So we should have won 5-3 in the end.
Well,
but then this is where I think, like, with Eddie Howe, like when we're 2-2, I think an elite manager is bringing on the players right there and then and changing the game, like Arnie Slot did when we went up 2-1. Straight away he brought on Diaz, Szoboszlai, and who was the other one? Trent. And look how the game changed straight away.
Yeah, but we don't have.
Have we got those players?
I would say Willock, maybe.
See, that's another thing. I know we don't have those players, but Eddie Howe rates these players to a degree, right? And 90% of this fan base think that this team can get top 4. So I don't care who's on the bench. If we're 2-2, bring on Wilson, bring on Willock. Bring on them 2 and Asula, and then let's see what we can do. But not wait till the 86th minute. You know what I mean? That's my opinion anyway. Yeah. So,
I think it's like I said. Don't fix something that's not broken at the time. And because we were still involved the game, and we were still heavily involved in the game up until the 80th minute. And then I said to Chris, it just seems like we've flicked a switch somewhere, and we've lost the impetus of going forward. It just seems as all our midfield just seemed to go heavy legs at the same time, and for me it was a case of I can lose one of them and just put another body in to secure it. But then it leaves me with still a lot of players that are very offensive thinking to try and, not miss out the midfield, because I don't ever want to go a long ball. But you've got the chance then, as they're overcommitting to get the win, to get in behind them again. And I think that was, to me, it's not a simple task. Nothing's a simple task. But it was something that I would have always looked at. And you're quite right. Having players that they have on the bench that can come on and change a game, we still haven't got that collective yet to do that. We've got a couple of players that can do it, but Barnes was virtually ineffective throughout the game. Willock really didn't do anything when he come on.
They didn't have enough time. Willock.
No, well, they didn't. They didn't. That's right. But again, when you put in the likes of Longstaff as your pinnacle, as your central body in the middle of the park, what are you expecting? That's why I look at it.
Yeah. And I agree with all that, to be fair. But the thing is, the next game, unfortunately, we got to move on. We got a game tomorrow. We got to do the match preview. The next day, we got the match on Saturday. So can this help us? Because it really, if you look back at these games, these good victories have not helped us, morale-wise or whatever you want to. They haven't helped us as much as the mighty win has been all season. We've been waiting. I'm getting hemorrhoids for waiting too long, man. Because every time we do a good performance against Man City, against Tottenham, and Arsenal, Chelsea in the cup, we can never keep up this performance. Why? That's the thing. Why though? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look at how crisp we were today. We were crisp. Our passes were nice. They the through balls worked. Everything was working. But against Palace, we couldn't put two passes together. Like, why does that happen? Against West Ham, same thing. Yeah, against Arsenal, we did everything right. We could make the passes, and then we show up against these lower half teams, and we just I don't know if we just feel like we show up and are going to win.
Yeah, that's my question. It's an uncomfortable question, but do we think that we underestimate teams?
Yeah,
I think we do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We go.
I think like what Gary was saying too, though, is we how coaches to the way the other team plays, and that's kind of goes in line with when the term when you say you're playing down or up to the competition. That's kind of I think part of that maybe. Play your game.
I think that what I've noticed with Eddie is what happens is you lose momentum. Whatever you've taken from the game that you've played well, you're changing elements of your game to suit the opposition rather than concentrating on the strengths of your individuals and adapting. And like I said, all good coaches, if you look, never ever will you see the likes of Real Madrid, the Liverpool. Did Liverpool adapt to our style of football? No, they didn't. They played their own game. Mm-hmm. We were beating them to everything today. Every 50-50 ball. It was our game today. And we could have gone out there quite comfortably and won that game. What changed is the fact that when they are allowing to bring in quality players, international players off the bench to fill the void, we haven't got that in depth. So when the lads give it 75 minutes of everything, when you're trying to change the game, then it's a case of there isn't the quality there to back you up. So for me, it's a case of Eddie's got to look at not the next game. He's got to look at the quality in his squad, how he can bring that squad to a game, get them developing, and then what you do is you try and get the opposition manager to change to you, and that's exactly what Slot did today. He changed to try and beat us today, not the other way around.
Thank you, Andy Bell. Appreciate that, mate. That gift of membership has gone to Jans Leonard.
And I tell you what, I'm going to say it again. If we don't get a right wing in January, I swear you might as well forget it.
But that might be the difference. That might be the difference. We're not exactly. I mean, Murphy did something today, but not really. You can't count on that every game.
No, and he played one half. The second half he got exposed. I felt. And our defense, we're Botman's close, Lascelles is close. I get, we're looking at center backs, but we need a right wing. That should be our first priority.
That should be. And thank you, Andy. We're gonna get you in, man. We can't get you in for some reason. He can never hear us. It's only a few people
What was the exact build-up of my mind's gonna blank because something else happened. There was two other things happened before their third goal. One was the Bruno pass getting intercepted.
Well, before we answer that,
But how
thank
did
you.
the ball get
Hold
to
on.
him?
Thank you to Tony T and the Revenge of the Crumpet Man. He says, "Jolly good show, good fellas." Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And so, what was the build-up? I think we.
It started. We were attacking on the left wing
For what goal though?
for the goal that resulted from J7.
Well, Murphy lost it to begin with, and then I think it got to J7, and then he lost it again. But Murphy made a horrible pass to Tonali that put it straight
That may
century.
be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he made a terrible pass.
Was that Murphy? Was it?
Yeah, that was Murphy. Yep.
Right. So was he still on then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He came off the.
Because that was it.
After that.
Tonali went to do his lovely 1-2s, and he played the ball, made the run.
Yeah,
And
then
ball
Murphy
back
passed
to
it
him
behind
was
Tonali.
good. I thought it was Livramento for some
No,
reason.
it was Murphy.
No.
Trying to. Oh,
So-
it was on 50th. So this one,
Murphy
was
losing
the,
the ball
uh,
isn't surprising at all. Well, I mean,
that was the
it's-
Curtis Jones. I mean, I'm just looking only at my my goal replays that I've got. It's all 2D, and I was just looking at which ones. Were you saying the third goal win?
Well, whichever was the one, I think it was the third one, that the J7 tried to put the ball through to outside of his foot to Gordon just in front of us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it got intercepted.
I think that's the second one.
Was that the second one, was it?
Yeah, I think it's the second
Well,
one.
well,
By the way,
you-
we got hold on. We got 130 people watching. So round of applause for everybody watching. Stay in tune with us. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Don't forget, hit that like button. Hit that like button, ladies and gents. Help us grow the channel. We only got a few minutes left on the reaction, but go on, Gary.
Yeah, they did. We did lose the ball from J7 trying to play the outside ball out to Anthony Gordon. Again, it's not about defensive here. These are Liverpool predominantly trying to get the win, so they've committed bodies forward. And you're quite right. Was that the right ball to play? Well, I suppose it was if it had played into the channel, but he didn't. He tried to bend the ball around a player that was virtually standing in the passing line. So again, it's about these speed of thought and all that. You've got to come into play. But they did have a hell of a lot of bodies in the box.
Thank you, Michael McIntyre, with another £2 super chat. Have you got makeup on? Tune. Nobody. I don't have makeup on. That's Mighty Win. He uses that stuff, eyeliner and all that stuff. He gets prepared for the match.
That'll be right.
And also Alan Smith, a super chat, a quiet super chat, but a super chat nonetheless. Thank you, Alan Smith, for that. Tiger, you quiet, man. I think Eddie Howe is working.
I was gonna say something. It might be controversial.
Get away.
Never controversial.
Would you in the summer? Would you guys sell J7?
Nah,
No.
because you're not gonna get money.
For me,
not gonna-
like there's some times where he plays well in the match where he can get the ball back, drive with the ball. But I think some of the time he just looks like a donkey half the time. I think it's just me, but he's a donkey.
It is just
like
you,
look,
right?
look. Some of his passing is just.
Mate, if we lose
it's
J7, we lose
fucking
Guimaraes.
I know, man. Like, I think we need a better player there. I think he needs to drop down to the bench, and we need to upgrade that position on the pitch.
I mean, you could be right there. You could upgrade,
Yeah,
J7.
'cause
we
honestly,
love him,
like,
but,
when I watch him,
that's
there's
not
some
incorrect. But
Yeah,
I don't think we would sell him. I think he
If we
does
got a
more
good
for
offer
us than
from
he's
him,
worth.
I would sell him, honestly.
Yeah, I think he does more. By the way, please, another round of applause. A round of applause for the mods as well, who's been working hard. Round of applause for the mods. All the mods, Queen of Heart. We got AG in today's show. We also have Mighty Mag, of course, and everybody else. Ian Fleming, I haven't seen Ian Fleming all gaming.
You've got to ask yourself, is if we do go for a DM, a 6, I know Eddie doesn't like it, but you can have a DM, the likes that can play ball. I think the weakest one in the middle of the park is J7. Technically, he isn't the ball player, but what he does give you, he's the general. He's the one who scuffles. He's the one that will commit
He's
a
a
couple
DM.
of...
He does.
Do you think Eddie could look at that performance tonight and, like us, acknowledge that what it was a fantastic DM performance by Tonali?
Well, I've been telling you, man.
this is the way forward.
Well, it is the way forward. By
no,
the way, we've been telling you that, Win. We've been telling you that.
No. Does Eddie look at that performance and say exactly that's what my 4-3-3 can do when it's working properly?
Well, what are you talking about? You should have seen this already.
Yeah. You see that you're talking about like J7, and like I said, the beauty I love about J7 is the fact that he's such a versatile player, and he gives you everything every match, and I think that's why people love him. And I think the trouble is, if you're building a squad, you don't build your squad around J7. J7's a quality player that if you've got the likes of Liverpool, who are all very technically gifted, you throw J7 in amongst a lot of them, and he's a spoiler. He's the one that'll bounce players off you and he gets stuck in. But he can't do it on his own. You've got to have commitment from players around him. And today wasn't his best game, but with J7 out of the side, we play totally different.
I don't know. I think he's been poor this whole season, man. And I think he has.
But he has been, along with a lot of players, to be fair. So he has been. But I'm gonna tell you this: that cohesion, the whatever they call Longstaff, that all them adjectives that make no sense when it comes to Longstaff, that I would agree if you say that about Joe Linton, because he literally is. He's not somebody you build your team around. He's not somebody that's going to win your games for the most part. He can score a game every now and again, score a goal every now and then. But he's certainly that cohesion that Longstaff is nowhere near of. And so I think I would use all those adjectives with Joe Linton. I know, listen, man, I know he's not technical. He's a bruiser. That's his job. And everybody's got a job. And so and I think it would be looking for a problem where there's not. I think we need a right wing. And we need.
But see, if we get a right wing in January, Eddie Howe's going to say he's not ready.
Oh, well, you got a point. You got a point, though.
I mean,
and then
unless it's in Buemo. I mean, if we get in Buemo, there's no way he's benching in Buemo.
Well, he's benched Tonali, and Tonali's been ready. You know what I mean? He's a protagonist for Milan when they went to the semifinals.
But that's the thing. Tonali's coming from Italy, and Buemo's one of the leading scorers in the Premier League. It would be insanity if he sat in Buemo when we brought him on.
There's the whole thing, like they're not ready with the run in and everything. So we're not going to see him till April. So wouldn't get.
Man,
I'm telling you. Well, listen. It was a
good.
Go on, Steve.
What did you think of the late little challenge from Virgil van Dijk on Gordon in the box?
That should have been a card.
I thought it was very sneaky.
That was a pretty clear card. He was trying to send a message. He didn't really do anything crazy, but you could see his shoulder move a certain way at the end where he definitely was trying to knock him.
I think what you saw there was, this is my defensive line, don't break it.
Yeah. There's no harm in that.
I mean, he was pulling a J7. We've seen J7 do that a lot.
That's what I'm absolutely. The ball gone. It was away. It was a late thing that he didn't need to do. Literally went right across him, and I heard one of the commentators say, "Oh, he just stood his place." He didn't stand his place. He moved into it.
Steve, when I was playing, I used to stick my finger up somebody's arsehole. And I tell you something now, it stops them from playing. But I never sniffed it afterwards. But you do all sorts when you're playing, buddy. The idea is to get in the mindset of the opposition.
I played.
That shoulder, whatever it was that in the penalty area?
Yeah, well, it was,
but it was after the play had stopped.
Just after the play had stopped.
Oh, so that's
after the play had gone. The ball was gone.
On that though. I think Gordon stay on the ground because he missed the biggest sitter in the history of football. I think he was just embarrassed more than hurt. But look, man, it's when the mighty win is quiet. He's been defeated.
Well, compare that to Shar early in the year. Is that worse than Shar's red card?
Television for the first time.
No, never. You've been on television for the first time.
I've got the match on now, so I'm watching it on telly for the first time.
Okay, well, thank goodness you're committed to the show. Watching something else instead of contributing. But
normally on Prime you can get the highlights. So I was wanting to find the goal.
All right, man. Well, you're gonna have a chance to go and do that. But thank you so much for your
indeed,
support.
And I'm gonna be
Thank
doing
you.
it again and again and again till
on
the
a
early
draw.
hours of the morning.
Fuck
I
me,
will
man.
go
I
to
cannot.
bed a very
man.
happy clapper.
I can't. I just
Get this guy in jail, man.
that's when you take you understand that overreaction.
A tie,
He gets
man.
mad. He
A
gets
tie.
mad when
Overreaction was what
he gets
happened
mad.
against-
He gets mad when
Overreaction
people
was what happened
overreact.
against West Ham.
He gets mad when people overreact on a bad result, and he's overreacting on a draw that we
At
could have
home.
won if we decided to defend a little bit, but we ended up drawing by the skin of our teeth, as the title says, the skin of war teeth. The mighty win has none of. But thank you so much for staying tuned to the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you to everybody that's donated. A lot of people donated today.
What's the rush like? Is this your belly telling what to go?
Well, we gotta go, man. We gotta go. Some of us been working here for hours, man. We didn't just go and get drunk and then come to the show. We've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, you poor fools.
Random Access, thank you for the super chat.
It's
Antagonist
been enjoyable, mate.
Michael McIntyre, Jordy Dan, again Michael McIntyre, again AG, Random Access, Helsazar, Michael McIntyre, again, damn it. Beer Viking, Andy Bell, Tony T, Michael McIntyre once again, and Alan Smith. Thank you to all for the kind support. And I appreciate that. Chris got 5 guys on the way. What does that mean? Oh, is that a restaurant, 5 guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, burgers.
Yeah, he's ordered 5.
Yeah, we got to. No, I don't have. No, we're cooking Peruvian food down there, man.
They are the best delivery burgers, by the way.
And grandma's in tune, so grandma's gonna be cooking some Peruvian delicacies. So there we go. But thank you so much for your support. Mighty Wayne wants to stay on the live show when he hasn't spoken a damn word all show, man. Just two phrases here and there. Top Junior, thank you for being in the chat. Says evening, lads. I was at the game today. Up the fucking mags. Well, we have a lot of positives today, so well done on those positives.
It all boils down to the next performance, because we've seen this
Yeah, that's going to be interesting now. So.
And on that note,
before.
on that note, we got the preview of Brentford tomorrow. We have to move on quickly, and so it would have been nice to have the player scores. I mean, but we run out of time, to be fair. And
I can
we
give
got to
you.
move.
I can give
We
you.
could probably conjoin it if you want.
Yeah. We could probably do one in the morning if we're up for it. But if you guys want to do something in the morning, let me know. Regardless, thank you so much for your support, and we will leave you with this wonderful intro that we made. Highway the lads, folks. Bye bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Highway the lads.
Whoa, me lads. You sure this? Whoa, me lads. You should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June 1862 on a summer's afternoon. We took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road